Let me tell you something that most people don't like to hear. It's uncomfortable, and that's exactly why it matters. You are not weak because you lack talent. You are not stuck because you lack intelligence. Most people fail for a much simpler reason than that. They are surrounded by the wrong people, breathing the wrong air, living inside an environment that quietly pulls them down every single day. The Spartans understood this long before psychology gave it fancy names. They understood something brutal and honest. A man does not become what he wishes to be. He becomes what his environment demands of him. So they didn't sit around hoping people would magically grow stronger. They built a world where weakness couldn't survive comfortably. Modern life keeps telling you the opposite. It whispers that you should be strong alone, that you should figure everything out by yourself, that depending on no one is a sign of power. Sparta rejected that idea completely. They knew willpower is unreliable. It rises and falls. Some days it's there, some days it disappears. But environment works every day, even when you're tired, even when you're lazy, even when you don't feel like trying. That's why Spartans never trained alone. They never lived alone. They never suffered alone. They evolved together, under watchful eyes, inside a system that didn't allow excuses to hide. From childhood, Spartan boys were placed into the agoge. Most people think of it as just harsh training, but that's missing the point. The agoge wasn't only about muscles or fighting. It was social engineering. Older boys trained the younger ones. Stronger boys pushed the weaker ones forward. Discipline didn't come from comfort or encouragement. It came from peers. If one failed, everyone felt it. And that wasn't cruelty, that was strategy. Sparta knew that your behavior changes much faster when others depend on you. When your weakness doesn't just affect you, but the group. Suddenly, excuses lose their power. Growth in Sparta didn't come from motivational speeches. It came from proximity. Young warriors lived near veterans. They didn't sit down to be inspired. They observed. They watched how an experienced warrior walked, how he ate, how he spoke, how he stayed calm when tired, how he endured pain without turning it into drama. Nothing was explained out loud. The lesson was silent but clear. This is who you must become. That's how humans really learn, by the way. Think about a child learning to walk. He doesn't read a book. He doesn't watch a tutorial. He watches adults. Humans evolve by mirroring. Sparta didn't fight that reality. They built their entire system on it. And because of that, Spartans didn't value friendship the way we do today. Friendship for them wasn't entertainment, it was responsibility. A Spartan didn't ask if he liked someone. He asked if that person made him stronger. Brotherhood meant calling out weakness when it appeared. It meant sharing hardship instead of avoiding it. It meant growing through pressure, not comfort. Comfort was never the goal. Evolution was. This is why Spartans were different when pressure arrived. In battle, they didn't fight as individuals trying to be heroes. They fought as a single body. Trust had already been forged in suffering long before the battlefield. Modern people panic under pressure because they were never trained while being watched, corrected, and challenged by others. Spartans were. Now, let's be honest, because Sparta was honest. This system was harsh. It broke some people, and Sparta accepted that cost. They believed it was better to lose a few than to weaken the whole. That idea isn't pretty, it isn't soft, but it was effective. You don't need an army today. You don't need a barracks or shields, but you do need structure. And this is where most people quietly fail. Ask yourself, seriously, who sees your effort every day? Who holds you accountable when you start slipping? Who challenges your excuses instead of comforting them? If the answer is no one, that's not freedom, that's the problem. A modern Spartan doesn't need many people. One or two is enough, but proximity matters. Spend time near disciplined people, even in silence. Reduce exposure to weak norms, because complaining spreads faster than motivation ever will. Allow pressure into your life. Growth needs friction. Without it, you don't evolve, you decay. The Spartans believed something deeply. The group must be stronger than the individual's weakness. That's why they evolved faster than others. Look at something simple like fitness. Training alone is easy to skip. Training while someone is watching changes everything. Accountability reshapes behavior far faster than inspiration ever could. Sparta knew that long before science proved it. Most people never reach their potential because they wait for motivation, isolate themselves, and hide their weaknesses. Sparta did the opposite. Weakness was exposed early, not to shame, but to correct it. That's the difference. You don't rise alone. No one ever did. You are shaped by what you tolerate and by who you surround yourself with. Choose poorly and you stagnate quietly. Choose wisely and you transform without needing to announce it. So if you truly want to evolve, stop asking how to become stronger. That question comes too late. Start asking who you are becoming around. Design your environment carefully. Choose your people with intention. That is the forgotten Spartan weapon.